Find yourself a booth, order up a cold one. This is the Spring Bar.
Are we ready?
Yep.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Hey, everybody. What? Joe with his.
You said 3, 2, 1.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Spring Bar. Glad to have you here. I am Florida Mike today with my co-host, Joe and the OC, Casey. Gentlemen, ho, ho, ho. How you all doing?
Merry frickin' Christmas.
Merry friggin' Christmas.
It's a family show. I don't know if you're listening to this or watching it with your, in the background. I don't want to irritate your.
Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, whatever it is that you celebrate. If you're listening to this on Christmas Day, I commend you for being such a loyal listener to take time out of your family holidays celebrations to spend it with us.
We need to talk about your choice of friends at that point in time.
Yeah, right. Unless you're working, people do have to work on holidays, so we can at least keep you company at work if you have nothing else to do on a holiday that you have to work.
Yeah, if you're not actually working.
Yeah,
if you're listening
to us on Boxing Day, that makes a lot more sense.
And if you're not listening to us on Christmas, you are not the loyal listener that we thought you were.
Hey, if you're not listening to us at all, you are the worst.
Yeah, at least you are listening. Oh goodness! So that's why we all have our ugly sweaters on. Joe, very fitting. Casey, I have an ugly T-shirt.
The first time.
Ugly T-shirt because that's what you do in Florida.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, Florida. Huh?
I had the option. This is my more photogenic one. I have another one that has it's a lady's sweater in gray and orange.
Okay.
That has Christmas trees and penguins on it.
Okay.
Oh, you have no idea. And the sleeves come to right here as well.
Why is it a ladies?
Because my mother sent it to me.
Okay.
And I wear it for concerts. I win ugly sweater contests with that. So I'm just saying.
Are you the daughter that she always never had?
I don't think so. It's been 50 years. I think it would have come up by now, but you never know. I mean,
you never know. It might be a conversation you want to have with her.
Well, I'm going to see her on New Year's, so we'll see.
There you go.
Here we go.
All right. So, what?
Yes. Continue. I'll be right back. I forgot it.
Okay. I don't know what we're supposed to continue, but we will continue talking about something.
Oh, the other gag of this. So I don't know if you've seen the Fat Electrician on YouTube.
No.
Yeah, he does military content type stuff. On the sleeve here, it says unhealthcare provider, which I thought was a pretty good bit.
Unhealthcare?
Yeah.
I thought we were getting ready for new watch alerts.
Oh, well, yeah, we can do that.
What that?
Oh, man, I think I might have one.
See? Wait.
But I need the key to the mailbox.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. That's right. That's really funny. This is what happens when you get left unsupervised, Casey.
Well, yeah, like some of the ornaments, I've been blue-balled.
So being that you're the only one who has it in hand, Joe.
You don't have anything?
No, I don't have anything.
Really?
I told you I'm on a no buying freeze.
Yeah, what's that mean?
Chastity.
It means I'm not buying anything.
Well, all right. Casey, do you got anything?
No. I mean, no, not in hand.
Okay. Well, then
I bought that really cool manual.
His Swatch snow globe hasn't come in yet.
Oh God, I wish.
Okay, then I guess it's just me. All right.
Yeah.
So I've got this.
Oh yeah.
Oh
right.
yeah. Anniversary watch, right?
Anniversary watch. Let's talk about
Oh shit.
So my wife, whom I love, she was debating. I got the Jetstar or the Merlot for my birthday because I turned 50 right before Thanksgiving. But my wife was worried about that and whether or not that would be the appropriate one, because apparently she bought the mill ships which Mike let her know that I already had, and she didn't see in the beautiful organized watch boxes that I have. So she got the Merlot, but then she bought this one like the next day just to be safe. And it's I sent her a link saying, you know, I'm interested in this watch. And so this is a red dial Caravel 666, and we're 99% sure it's a redial.
I unfortunately would have to agree with that.
I'm right up there, and we're like we're in like the, you know, the 90th percentile here. So it's got Caravel, but the kerfing on the font at the end seems to be a little bit off. The automatic of the 666 feet is right. The markers on the dial are right. The handset is right. The seconds hand is right. The date wheel is right. The case and the bezel are right. But it's missing
There's
like
a lot of stuff missing from
missing
that
some
dial.
framing around the window or around
Yeah.
the date window. It's missing set-o-matic. It's missing dual day. It's missing some other stuff. So this is either a really weird prototype or it's a redial.
Which, you know, it could be.
It could be any of those things. It's hard to say what exactly it is, but it's red, y'all.
It's still cool looking though.
It's red. It's incredibly cool. It's
So
incredibly cool. And this is hang on, because my story gets better. Because my wife.
Oh, it gets even better because you probably forgot part of the story.
Oh, it gets better because my wife put it.
Oh, that's right.
In this box.
Yeah.
Okay. And she'd painted it, and she made the cushion inside. There's a cushion inside.
Nice.
Right. Ooh.
Leopard cushion. Yeah.
But that's not the cool part. You're right. Here's the cool part. The whole thing has a party piece.
It lights up.
And
oh, it spins too.
spinning, y'all.
Look at that.
Right. So it's like the watch is nice, but man, the box is killer.
So that's the MBNF Mad One editions of watch boxes.
It is. It is. You know, you got to know the right people. So
yeah.
And the story of the watch too. I sent it to her, said, like, you know, if you're interested in getting me something, this might be nice. But what I said to her was, ask Mike before you buy it.
Which she did not.
She did not.
No.
So
she told me she bought it after the fact.
Yes, she did. Yes, she did. But
Yeah.
it wears incredibly well. It's really nice, and it's a fantastic addition to my 666 collection, and I thank her profusely.
So, do you remember, Joseph, that we tried to buy that watch a couple years ago?
I do. Yes, you had a friend who saw it and pointed it out to you, and then we were both in kind of a bidding war, and the guy wouldn't sell.
Well,
because he's an asshole.
the guy, it popped up. It was either at a watch show in Miami or it was a flea market in Orlando. I'm not sure which one of the two. The guy, I think, is from Miami, though. I
want to say it was Miami. I don't think it was local to you, or else you would have gone down.
Yeah. So my friend saw it, sent me the picture, says, "Hey, are you interested in this? I can see if the guy wants to sell it, if you want to make an offer or whatever." So I sent it to you right away, and I said, "Look at this."
Yeah, I remember.
And we made one or two offers on it, but the guy wouldn't sell it.
No response.
Nothing at all. And then almost 2 years has gone by.
At least, yeah, it's been a while.
And then it popped up on eBay again. And I said, I bet you that's the same. So I went back to the pictures that I sent you originally, and it's the same missing everything on the dial. So that's the same watch.
Yeah, but I don't disagree with you. I think because I've never seen anything else like it.
Yeah.
So it's really weird when you get into this Caravel Bulova redial space that like somebody's got way too much time and money on their hands for some of that stuff. It's like if you're gonna redial.
Well,
Caravel.
Okay. So talk about time and money on your hands. You sent me an eBay listing of a Bulova Ambassador.
Yeah.
Which was marked
waterproof 666.
Waterproof 666. Yeah. And you sent it to me and says, "What do you think of this?" And you're on the path of it being additional printed, it's not real.
Without question. 100%. 100%.
cannot definitively say that that is not an actual dial. And
You
I
can't.
sent you my
This
proof.
this is the problem. You can't definitively say with Bulova what is definitive and not definitive.
Well, and that's why you can't definitively say, because when you look at the text on the dial, it is pretty consistent in its fading with the rest of the dial. Now, if that was a redial that had to have been added very, very early on in its life for it to consistently fade with the rest of the dial.
Or they strapped it to a grow light.
Yeah, no, come on. Nobody's going to do that.
I did.
You're the only, did you redial it, Joe? Because you're the
It's
only
not
one weird
mine.
enough
It's
to
not
do
mine.
that.
I would have done
But
no date because
I
that's
searched
what I have.
I searched the line books just in case we may have missed something. Does not show up in the line books.
Surprise!
The seller actually has pictures of it opened up. Um, the movement and the date on the movement and the date on the case back do line up. That is a movement that is consistent with the 666 diver watches of the era. Um, there are several sets of numbers stamped on the inside of the case back, which is usually the case number, which you can cross-reference in the parts guides, and that'll tell you the movement that's in it. It'll tell you what color the case is supposed to be, all that kind
We're
of stuff.
getting really deep into Bulova geekery right now. For all of our listeners who have tuned out or have gone to get a sandwich, just saying.
But none of those numbers show up in the parts book, except there is a number that is hand engraved on the inside of the case back, which does pop up in the list of cases that were distributed overseas. And we all know that overseas, there's a lot of weird stuff that happened with Bolovas over there.
I am willing to entertain your flights of fancy, but I have a whole nother bottle of champagne to drink. So let's get on with it.
But if that is real, that's pretty interesting.
It's interesting. It's weird though, because like the profile of that watch particularly matches like a Super Seville case, but it doesn't have the fluted bezel. And as far as I know, they never made a Super Seville with the smooth bezel. So like I don't know. Everything to me about that watch says Franken, including the case back, which is more of a deep sea case back with that angled shape. I don't know. I don't know. I will not be bidding on it. We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, no. But it's a cool idea.
Anyway.
So your anniversary watch reminded me that I do have kind of a new watch.
Oh,
it is my anniversary watch.
There it is.
Yeah, there you go.
From Dave Services, like almost over a year ago.
Okay, talk that one through because I've got a connection with that watch.
You do?
I do.
Okay.
Wait, what?
You sent that out for Magic Hands to take a look at.
Yes.
Right? You sent out, and it's a pair, right? It's a match set.
Yes, right.
So that's
So
it's an
yeah.
Omega,
So I sent it out to him.
Yeah.
And he quoted me a price that I just didn't want to pay.
Well, because he was looking at original parts and Omega official service parts and all of that kind of stuff. Which and that would, because it's a his her set. So let's talk about what that really is. Right. So it's his her Omega dynamic. It's got that blue seconds hand. It's got the blue anodized blue bezel, right?
Yeah.
It's an absolutely beautiful watch.
Yeah, no, it's not a blue bezel. It's just a blue ring on the dial.
Yeah, the two are identical to one another, except the other one's smaller, and I don't know if hers is automatic. This one is automatic.
I don't know if it is either.
And I don't think hers has a quick set. This has the annoying Omega quick set where you pull its crown out to the second position, and then so when you're trying, you set the watch at the first position. So if you overshoot that, now you got to go sit there and click through all the damn date.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I just thought it was a funky watch, and out of all the possible his and her sets, like I'm sure you could find a bunch of other ones, but this one was pretty cool.
No, I think you did. I think you did killer on that, dude. You sent them out to me. I got the chance to look at them, see that they all work, and yeah, it's a nice pickup.
Yeah, she really enjoyed it.
That's nice, dude. Good.
Honestly, her watch collection is pretty impressive. She has that tiny Rolex, and now she has the Omega.
Don't buy her an Apple Watch or it's over.
She's already got an Apple Watch, but hates it.
See, I did that. I got my wife's got this killer watch collection, and then I bought her the Apple Watch, and
my wife hates it. She does not use her Apple Watch.
No,
no,
really?
She doesn't like it. And
man.
recently gave her one of, because I keep excess watches with me for my soldiers who don't have a watch, like cheap Walmart stuff. I gave her that for use at work with the little snot-nosed kids, and she really enjoys that.
Interesting.
Is a no brand solar power digital watch. Pretty good.
Perfect. And Mike, you got nothing, right?
I have nothing. I have so we have a mutual friend, Joe, who is wanting to remain anonymous.
Correct.
He has one of the greatest Bulova collections that nobody knows exists.
No one knows. No one's ever seen it. This guy. So have you? Do you ever get to see the picture of his watch boxes?
Oh, I've seen several pictures of them. Yeah.
Okay, so he has, and I want to say, so there, it's like a 24 slot double layered watch box, and I think he's got 10 or 15 of those.
Oh, probably more than that.
Right, and they are full of.
We've been talking, him and I, back and forth over the last several days pretty consistently. The number he gave me was like 710 that he's up to right now, something like that. Yeah,
it's nuts. And the watches that he has, anytime I find something from the 20s or the 30s, it's like, hey, what is this? And he will go and he will show me the multiple versions
the one or two that he has of it already,
because he's got the dial variations, or he's got the the case variations or whatever. It's like, it could be this or it could be, because like the old Bulova stuff, they recycled dials and they recycled cases, they recycled handsets, but each one got a different name and movements as well. I mean, it's just nuts on what they've done and all this stuff. And so like, okay, so
both of those, the recent chronographs, I was like, holy crap, I want to pick those up, dude. I've been after that solo dial for a while, but I couldn't make him an offer. In the position right now that I'm in, I can't really be spending that kind of money.
We'll talk offline.
Here's the weird thing about it is he has these watches that some were bought and sent to you, some were sent off to be serviced, everything kind of funneled back through you, and then everything was forwarded to me. In the event that I have to facilitate the sales of these watches or more of his collection and things like that, there is some more stuff that he will be sending me, just to kind of showcase, let people know these do exist, and if you want to make a healthy offer on them, they're not necessarily for sale right now, but everything has a price. So that's kind of where we're
so all right. Well, so why don't you share what we're talking about here, because these are some heavy hitters, these are some deep cuts, these are some really impressive watches. Let's be fair here.
As you're listening to this recording, it will have been last week that I showcased 4 watches. We're talking the Chronograph E, which is the Heuer Caliber 12 chronograph
with the left-hand drive.
With the there is a 95% all original Oceanographer G. It is missing the Bulova clasp, which we are looking for one right now. There is an Oceanographer
bracelet is correct. The handset is correct.
Bracelet, correct everything.
Just the clasp.
Just the clasp, which is fresh from service. Oceanographer V, which
Orange
needs
dial.
a little bit of relume work to it. Has not been serviced, but it's been winding, setting, running, it's been doing everything it should be.
It's a nice watch.
And there is like what Casey was talking about, a solo dial deep sea chronograph. This watch had to have been purchased and put in a drawer, and that is it. It is a beautiful time capsule of a watch. I
yeah,
mean,
that's the other thing. Like, I would
edges-
love to go for that, but if I bought that, I would wear it, and it would no longer.
Oh, without question. But it's an absolute of a wearer of a watch, man. That watch,
I would wear the shit out of that.
it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Like I think the dial is in better shape than mine. My bezel is in better shape, but I got a new old
I
stock
was gonna
bezel.
say the bezel looks faded on that one.
A little bit. It's a little bit, but it's not nearly as faded as the one that Mike had or the original that I had.
Oh yeah,
So,
no.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of what that watch is, that's so
as
honest.
far as the dial is not faded one bit. The sub dials are perfect. The handset is spot on. Sometimes they get that weird little pitting to them. You get like you know how the hands, the indices are perfect. The edges on the case are razor sharp. I mean, everything on that is absolutely beautiful. If I had that watch, I wouldn't wear it because I'd be too afraid to.
You gotta wear that thing.
There you go.
So I'm wearing the Oceanographer V right now.
And how good is that?
I've only ever been able to handle him briefly here and there. This is my first time really being able to wear one, for more than a few hours at a time. It's you can't find anything better than this orange.
It's nuts.
This is it.
It's nuts how good. Like, so my whole introduction to the Oceanographer line was through the V. I didn't really have a hankering for a G at all. I wanted the orange. And to the point that like I found a dial and then built a watch around a dial. And that's the one that I have. And the story for that is one for another time. But still, that color connection for that watch.
But yeah, the orange is fantastic. The black and white bezel is great. I really like the day date.
Yeah,
I love the day date.
Functionality on that's really nice.
Yeah, it's really good. I actually had to look up how to set the day and the date.
Did you really?
It's super stupid what you have to do to set it. Yeah. It'll take you some time. So once you get it set, you got to kind of wind it and set it, every few days to keep up with it. It's really dumb. But the watch as a whole is pretty fantastic. So
it's a good pickup. It's a good pick. So if you're in the hankering for one of those and you have some extra Christmas money burning a hole in your pocket, reach out.
Yeah, like I say, DM me. I have them in my possession. As of right now, I'm aiming for him not to have to sell this stuff.
Yeah.
Like I say, everything has a price. It's going to have to be a healthy offer for these to move.
Yeah.
So,
and if you like, I've handled all of them as well. So like you can get a second opinion if you would like, but they're good. They're good.
They're not bad at all.
If you're in the market for any one of those versions, if you're looking for a Mark I dial G, a really good example of the V, the Deep Sea with no 666 on it, for those of you who religious bent, or that Hoyer, what we're calling that, the E or the F. It's the
E.
It's the E. Chronograph E with the caliber 12, which is like that second automatic chronograph caliber that Hoyer put out. They're good. They're really, really good.
Which and the chronograph functions of that watch are so smooth.
Oh God,
smooth.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So if you're in the market, reach out. Spring Bar will hook you up.
Yeah. So that's what I'm wearing. That's my wrist check. Who's going next?
What's in the glass, sir?
I've got an Arnold Palmer. It's not.
You got no booze again? Damn it,
no,
Mike.
I still don't. All my booze is located offset right now. It's at a different location.
You're gonna have to drizzly order you something again. God
damn. I will get something this week. I promise. Joe. Tomorrow or Tuesday, I will.
Gonna be a Christmas miracle. KC, is that a Rolling Rock I see, sir?
Yes, this is the usual culprit for Christmas for me. The gold OP on a hose strap.
Dude, that's always so good, though. Every time I see that watch, I love it more and more. It's so good.
Yeah. Every bit of it, the pretentiousness of it is awesome.
Yes. Everything about that. Everything about that is good.
And then in the glass to increase the pretentiousness is an extra light beer,
Oh,
95 calories. Hell yeah!
got to watch that girlish figure. Well
A
done, sir.
rolling rock. Is that you? Did you call it a rolling rock?
I thought it. Well, I didn't see the
Man.
I didn't see the star. All I saw was the back of
That's
the green and white.
that's going back.
My wife's favorite beer.
Really?
Oh yeah, she loved Rolling Rock,
Huh. That's funny.
and then she met me, and now she drinks vodka. So,
What you got, Joe?
well, yes, you got to start. I am wearing the chronograph.
Ooh, yeah, that one's good. That one's really good.
You know,
Which one is that? Oh, that's the D.
The D, the
You
chronograph
got
D.
the chronograph D. Yep.
Like, I mean, Mike and I were talking about this one in terms of like bracelets and straps and whatever else, and it's like, yeah, this one kind of has to be on a bracelet. So it goes into what our discussion, our topic of the day will be, and that's one of the reasons that this sort of is on the wrist, because I was looking through and like, oh yeah.
So, what is the lead us into it? What is the topic of today's episode, Joe?
Well, the topic of today's episode is like, what are the top 4 watches that we got this year? What have we purchased this year that needs to be discussed, or that you like, or that you respect, or that you want to bring up?
The highlights of
the highlights of the year. And so I don't, Casey, how do you organize your watches? Do you have a list? Do you have any kind of running whatever?
Not really. If you made it into this box, I like you a lot.
Okay, so
that's fair. Yeah,
which I don't disagree with. Mike has shared a spreadsheet with me that I then filled out, and it's a way for us to kind of keep track. It's like, okay, what is it? What year is it? What brand is it? When did you buy it? What are the reference numbers? How much did you pay for it? How much did you sell it for? What are the notes? And I use that spreadsheet a lot. And I was taking a look when we were talking about the topic, and I realized that I bought over like 20 watches this year. Didn't keep them all, but there were 20. Like, it's a lot.
I don't know how many I bought this year.
You didn't look at your spreadsheet.
Yeah.
No, I didn't. I didn't even fill out the spreadsheet. I started to, but then I didn't fit. I do remember starting off really strong. Like January, February, I went full in.
You did go hard.
Yeah. And then I thought, well, that's, I need to put the brakes on a little bit. And then that didn't happen.
And then you went harder.
And then, yeah. So it's been a lot. I don't know if that's a number that I want to know.
Yeah. I would be curious. I would be curious to see if you went higher than me or not.
I don't know. I'd have to look back. I can do the research and we can compare numbers later on. I'd have to look back and see.
He doesn't want to advertise. That's what it comes down to. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah, I don't think I've got quite the same volume.
You haven't, but you picked up some really good stuff this year. So why don't we start with you, Casey? Because I mean, I know that without getting into your mailbox watch.
Oh man, son of a bitch! That one would have been really good.
It would have made it, right? That would have been in the list.
Yeah. Well, I'll start off with probably one of my more recent ones.
Well, hold on. You can talk about that because you did pick it up. It doesn't have to be in hand.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, that was a 2023 watch. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll say that one for the end. But yeah, the Simpsons swatch. It's just good fun. And
it is good fun, dude. Mm-hmm. It is.
It was like $100, so really can't be too upset by that.
Not at all.
Yeah. And then I had that awesome car accident that totaled my beloved Jetta. So I ended up with a Toyota. So I had to get a Toyota themed G-Shock.
Yeah, fair.
It's not gonna come through on this one. But yeah, I mean, and then I bought this like definitely not legit case for it to make it look like that really cool titanium G-Shock that cost $1,500. I was not going to spend that money.
You upgraded your G.
Yep. And then my Cartier tank I actually bought in 23.
That's right, you did.
And it's currently squeezed the hell onto an 18 millimeter hose strap.
Is that strap wider than the watch itself?
We'll bet.
Potentially. Yeah, it
We'll
needs
bet.
to not be on here.
The way it ends up looking like one of those wristbands they get put on you for concerts, or
Yeah.
you're allowed to drink.
So it's probably not going to stay on here. Almost certain. But then the number one watch for 23, yeah, definitely number one is the Tudor sub. This is probably my most worn watch.
I don't disagree with you, but that's such a good pickup too. Like
Yeah.
I know that one you were looking for specifically to make it into your top 7.
Yeah,
Like that's not going anywhere. It's never leaving. It's a
yeah. I
good.
think I would probably sell it. I would sell the Explorer before I sold this.
Oh, well, come on, without question.
Yeah,
And I think that one is really the only one that you put a lot of time and energy into finding that specific
yes.
one.
Yeah.
It didn't fall in your
that.
lap.
I think
That's
that was
true.
the one you spent the most amount of time and research on to find and buy.
Exactly. And that's probably why I like it. Well, I mean, that's definitely contributes to it, you know.
With I'm with you. I'm with you on
Spent
that
all
one.
that time studying up on all the little fine details and what makes this model separate from another one, blah 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 blah.
Well, I mean, because we've talked about that one a lot, and it's not a mill sub, but you didn't want a mill sub specifically. You wanted the date window, and you wanted that particular version of it. And it's like, you know what, you did killer on that watch.
Yeah. I mean, I would have done the mill sub, like especially the the rose dial, but I couldn't afford it, and then 2, the maintenance also was a little hairy on that.
Yeah,
just because it was an older ETA. Whereas with this one had like the most abundant ETA. I forget what it has in. It cost me $400 for Rolex to service it. So
no,
Can't beat that.
I think you're in real good shape on that watch.
yeah, and then there's the Universal Geneve White Shadow, which I have not been able to see in person for a while. So I'm super excited to go check out the mailbox.
Open your mailbox and find it.
Yeah,
Has that watch been in my possession more than it's been in your possession this year?
potentially, yeah.
Possibly.
Probably. Listen, it's been the last 6 months of this year have been really crazy for me, and I've had that watch, and you sent it for me to repolish the case, and I apologize that it's taken so long. But it came out looking pretty good. I think you'd be happy with.
It's a good watch.
I'm
like,
well, if
Casey,
a friend does a service for you for free, you really shouldn't complain. So I'm grateful that you did it.
You get what you pay for.
Yeah, yeah.
but it's like, looking at the watches that you're showing, the Cartier is killer. I'm not going to poo-poo on the Swatch. The G-Shock, yeah, okay. The Tudor is fantastic. And to me, it's a toss-up between that White Shadow and the Tudor. For me personally. Oh, yeah. Yeah, without question.
So the White Shadow is really cool. Really cool. It is not a watch that I would wear a whole lot, but for what it is, I was blown away by how thin that watch really is.
I would wear the crap out of that watch.
I believe that. And it's really, it's fantastic. And you know how, I think you said when you bought it, the guy said that the automatic winding system wasn't working.
Yeah.
When I popped open the case back, I didn't look at it real closely. I don't know if the rotor is screwed in or if it's riveted on or whatever, but that whole rotor mechanism is really loose and wobbly. That's what the noise you hear on the case and everything. I think that's the only thing that's stopping it from actually winding. So if that gets, I don't think it's the mechanism itself. It's just the rotor itself, the weight.
Yeah. I would wear the crap out of that watch, man.
Well, definitely, whenever Dave gets back up and running, if he's taking pieces in, I'm going to send it to him next.
I know there's a backup of stuff. Like I've got stuff that needs to go. You've got, I'm sure Joe has got stuff. Yeah.
Now,
you know what? I really don't.
He's still in Japan though, right?
He is. He's gonna be out of there end of the month.
Yeah, he's coming. The 31st, I think he's coming.
Yeah,
back.
he'll be stateside. He'll be stateside in January and probably up and running after that. So we'll see. Our man in Japan is no more. He has been transferred stateside, and we will.
Yeah, we no longer know a guy in Japan.
Well, you don't know a guy in Japan. I know a couple.
Well, okay.
They don't do watches though.
Well, see that's a problem.
Depends on what you're looking for.
Okay, maybe we need to talk, discuss whatever connections you've got. Oh,
I know a couple guys. Anyway,
yeah.
what do you got, Mike?
Um, I have three selections. One of my selections is multiple watches, though. I think.
Oh, you pussy! Okay, fine. I know where you're going with this. Go on.
What?
Go on with your bad
I
stuff.
think most notably for 2023, and because I have such a personal involvement and connection to it, is the new Jetstar collection. I have
Yeah.
I have four of the variations. I need to work on getting the last one. But they are just fantastic watches. Joe, you just got your birthday one. I know you like that one.
I do.
They're just so good. They're so
They're
good.
good. They're good.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. It's in terms of like case shape, dial detail, wearability. It's not exactly a dress watch, but it's not far off. So if you're doing something that requires a shirt with buttons or nice shoes, it's a great watch to wear.
But they're so versatile. You can dress
Yeah.
them up, you can dress them down.
You can be suited and booted, and you work just fine. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's definitely worthy of a notation of this year's collections. Number two is a watch that I have been after for quite a long time. My 1972 blue dialed wrist alarm.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So you
Yeah.
can find them. They're not extremely rare, but they generally occupy the $600, $700 price point. Um, you can find them a lot less, but they're in far worse condition. I just happened to come across one, all original bracelet, everything, for a great price. Like I just fell into the price. Couldn't pass it up at that price. Sent it out to Dave to be serviced because it's such a weird, complicated movement. And being that I was very new into wrist alarms, I didn't want anything to go wrong with it because I wanted to be able to wear it and not have to worry about it. He said actually open it up. It was a little dirty, but it looked really good. So he cleaned
And
it
that
all
one's
up.
got it's got the two barrels, or not? Yeah, two barrels because
So that one has the
alarm has
dual
a
barrel
separate
system. Yeah,
separate winding.
yeah, exactly. Um, but it's such a beautiful blue dial, has a great blue alarm hand. It's a small but chunky case. The bracelet is fantastic on it. I absolutely love that watch. I love wearing that watch. Far and away one of my favorite pickups of this year.
How often do you wear that? I don't think I've seen a lot of pictures with that one, which I'm not, you know, I'm just curious.
I wear it quite often, but I try to photograph all of my collection. So there is stuff that I do. And if you notice, like the pictures that I post, the dates don't often match the dates that I post a thing because I try and photograph everything and share evenly so that way people don't get tired of a lot of the same stuff over and over again. But it does get a lot of wrist time. In
Okay.
fact, I was wearing it for today and I only changed it just to wear this because I was going to talk about it and I didn't want to talk about what I was wearing at the time. So it makes sense in my head.
All right.
And then lastly, I think this watch has a great story to it. It came from you, Joe. So it's a watch that I got from a good friend. It was a watch that I got on my visit with you. It is a watch that I have wanted for so long. Um, it is probably arguably the heaviest hitter of my collection, which is what we're going to call the 1964. And we've had this discussion off camera as to what year it really is. The case back is marked 1964, the Accutron Astronaut.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was really good.
that's a good one.
So it's the dual signed Bulova Accutron Astronaut.
Yeah.
It's it's aged so well. It has that little blemish on the dial from the what was it? An oil drip that come
Oil.
off the
We
24
assume
hour
it's
hand.
oil because it isn't a scratch. It's bubbled.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And I have seen other watches with the same marking on it.
Yeah. I think it's a common
So
thing.
it's a common thing, yeah. Um, you had it on a small coffin link bracelet, which was not original to the watch.
Correct.
I had a original NASA mesh bracelet that I fitted on here, and it's a good combination. I like the way it looks.
It's a nice. You did okay there. You did all right.
Yeah. So that's definitely another favorite
That's
of this year.
your top four.
So that's it. Those are my notables for this year. And of course, there's a lot of other stuff that had come in that I really do enjoy. But we'd be here all day if we talked about everything that we liked.
Well, we did. I mean, like it's been an interesting year, particularly in terms of like support that Bulova has given us because we all got the Lunar Pilot at the beginning of the year too, and it's like that's that's not anything to kind of sniff at, but I don't see that made it onto any one of our lists, which I find also kind of interesting.
It did not. And you know what? And as I was going through trying to pick out, some of the best, that one did keep coming up, and I almost feel bad not mentioning it. Um, I do thoroughly enjoy that watch. I have tried several strap options. It is currently on a um, like the astronaut spacesuit Velcro styled strap right now. From Perpetual Straps, they have I think it's like a $15 strap. It's great. I love it. We're super comfortable.
Yeah.
I've had it on various other things, so it does really well with strap options, bracelet options. It's fun. And every time I wear it, somebody's like, "Oh, hey, I really like that watch. Oh, that's really cool." Somebody even told me, "It's like, oh, that's a great dress watch." Like, well, it's not really a dress watch, but he's like, "Oh, yeah, no, it looks great." I'm like, okay. So,
Everyone's entitled to opinion, even if they're
Yes.
wrong.
yeah. So we'll say that's a good runner up. Gets an
It
honorable
is.
mention.
It's up in that list. It's interesting because like I had a lot of depth and breadth this year and stuff that I picked up, and so looking through and trying to pick like what are the top four or the ones that I wear the most out of that. It's like it's interesting. It was an interesting choice, interesting kind of selection. So I ended up with a slightly different list. But
Yeah. So what have you
what
got?
do I got? Well, so the first one up is the Caravel Handsome Devil with the black dial.
Yeah,
This
that
is
one's good. I like that one.
it's real. It's a small case. It's got this really kind of funky sort of lug shape. It's like 35 millimeters. The lugs are sloped. Brilliant, just beautiful dial, all Swiss construction. And I didn't even realize I picked that up this year because the white dial version of that I've had for a little while. It's like it's great. Yeah. I absolutely love it. Number 2 is the Accutron deep sea red dial that we didn't know was real because there's nobody knows what the hell it is. So that watch was just kind of a killer purchase that fell into my lap, and I got the chance to actually do a talk with the previous owner and all the things that go with that. And so that was kind of neat. And it's one of those watches like it hits all the quadrants too.
How does that one compare to your green one in terms of crispness of case lines and things like that?
The case is good. It's not as nearly as new old stock. The dial's got a lot more patina on it, and there's a little bit of tarnish going on in the markers. So I think the case itself is really sharp. The bezel's got a couple of scratches on it. I wouldn't call this new old stock by any stretch of the imagination, but it hasn't been worn a whole lot. This was a watch that was gingerly loved.
In photographs, it looks fantastic.
It's good. It's really, really good. But like the thing that's strange about these, it has to do with there's this matte quality to the dial and to the bezel. And so there's not a whole lot of depth to them. They're really flat. And there's an appeal to that. But when you compare it to something like the Jetstar Merlot with the like that sunburst dial, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the other one. That'd be my number 3. Is this watch in terms of like the ones that I got this year? This is just, and I gotta second your opinion on that, Mike. Like it's a really nice watch. You know, it's the 262 kilohertz movement, the precisionist movement. It's got the sweep second hands, but that sunburst dial and the way that the markers are, and then the execution of the case, it's good, man. It's really, really good.
And I want to throw in a quick note here. A lot of times when I post my watches or when I've seen conversations about those, people will call them a reissue. And I've had people make comment or reach out and say, hey, I like it, but it doesn't look a lot like the original. It's very different. And I have to explain, well, it's not a reissue
Right.
in the typical sense of a reissue. It's a reimagining.
Yeah, I think that's the right way. That's the right way to say it.
They kept a lot of the inspirations of the original, which you can see in that, but it's meant to have been modernized.
And I think they did a really good job with it. I like it a lot. And this is the watch that my wife bought for me for my 50th birthday. So it's 1973 vintage, just like me.
The watch that you almost didn't get.
The watch that I almost didn't get, but it worked out for the best. But all of that aside,
are we going to say that this watch that you're going to talk about is your favorite of the year?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody want to take a guess as to what it is? Anybody in the audience? We'll give you a second. Shout it out. Shout it out. Nope, you're wrong. There it is. Yep, somebody just guessed it. Okay.
Right. It is the GMT loom.
Yeah,
this sucker. It's hard to beat, man. It really is. It wears well. It glows in the dark. It's got a white dial. I was wearing it the other day. I just put it back onto this white luminous strap. It's so good.
It's really so good on that strap. Yeah,
it looks really good on this strap. Everything about this watch it ticks off every box that I like. It's got 666 on the dial. It's got the oceanographer setup. It's a dive watch, but it works as a GMT. I can go on vacation and keep track of where I'm supposed to be. And I know when I'm supposed to be in class, but I'm not because I'm on vacation.
I think that one works so well for you because of the bezel. It has the dive bezel.
All of it goes together. Like, so we talked the last episode, and friend of the show, Watches with Oliver, has the root beer, and I got the chance to see the two side by side, and it's like, you know what, I'm satisfied with my choices. Mm-hmm. The root beer, it is not bad. It is really and truly not bad, and it is an elegant watch. It works well as a GMT. The way that the day-night bezel on those is killer. And if Bulova does a Coke version, I will take that Pepsi challenge 100%. But for me personally, because I wanted a white dial of this watch, 100% for me. Yeah. Top purchase of the year.
And it's been dubbed by a lot of the watch fam as the Stormtrooper.
It is. Yeah, I think it shoots better than Stormtroopers do. It had LASIK or whatever, so I think that works out well.
Well, one could say that Bulova definitely hit the mark with that one.
Oh, I see.
Tip your waitresses. I'll be here all week. Yeah. So that's a good. Rather than going through a state of the collection, I think a good recap of our best of the best.
Yeah.
For the three of us.
Well, I also find it so fascinating too that when you look at what it is that we purchased, you look at why we purchased, or all the things that go with that. And so I am set up as sort of the Bulova collector of the group, because I tend to not wade outside of those waters. Like Mike, you dabble, and you picked up a couple of Timex this year and some other stuff. You got that Zarek as well.
The Zarek,
list, by the way.
which didn't make the list. It's a very cool watch, but there was just other watches that I truly wanted to happen or have more of.
And then KC, didn't you get that Marine Nationale this year?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, right. And so,
I
like,
want to say, yeah.
the choices that you made, which I do not disagree with at all. But it's so fascinating when you look at what it is that we purchased and kind of the
Completely
why.
forgot about that because that sits over in the work watch area.
Right. And so like that for you specifically is definitely in the tool watch category, And it's not to poo-poo that watch at all, because I also know that you put a ton of work into that because you got the second, the extra case for it because the original case was cracked and all the pieces that go with that. So I find it really fascinating that like what it is that we chose and why we chose it, because I picked up a Miller watch that I haven't had serviced yet, and I think that if I had gotten that running, that might make it into the top 4, maybe not. It's hard to say because it's a different watch. It's a weird watch.
Would you wear that all that often though?
Oh yeah.
Would you?
As a dress piece? Absolutely.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. I got to figure out what I do because it has an expansion bracelet on it, but it's an old one. It's like from the 50s. So it's not the scissor like my Bull of a President is.
But it's more like that Speedle kind of
sort of. Well, it's weird because it's got the X on the bottom, but it's got the square on the top. So it's a weird expansion.
Okay.
It's an odd bracelet. And so like I'm not sure about that. I think I need to get that sized, and so I'll be talking to Oliver. But I don't know what I'm going to throw that on. That needs to go on something a little bit different, I think. But there's some interesting watches that came in this year. Who knows what next year will hold? Who knows?
Well, with any luck, I know what my first purchase will be of the new year.
Ooh.
How about that? Real quick. What do we have any first purchases that we can foresee coming up for each of us?
No.
Nothing that you have on the horizon?
I got nothing on the radar at all.
Really?
I mean, I have what I would like it to be,
Ooh.
but it's almost certainly not going to happen.
Be aspirational, KC.
I want to get that damn GMT.
Well, which one though? Because you've been talking, you've thrown out 4 or 5 different ones.
I know. Yeah. Now I'm sitting in 3 different price brackets, right?
Right.
But if I had the money, I'd get that damn Rolex. But that's definitely not happening.
Okay.
Then I'm going back because I originally owned that Seamaster GMT like a while back. I had the black dial, but now I'm looking at the white dial. I'm like, that's pretty good, but it's still $2,000. And am I buying it because I actually want the Rolex? But then there's that out of order, which is $500. And even that, I'm just kind of like, man, do I really want to poop $500 right now?
Okay, but then what about the Zodiac?
Oh, son of a gun! The Zodiac would be pretty good.
What about the Fossil?
The Fossil.
Fossil. Mike threw out a Fossil that's got a similar kind of movement, right? It says the Seiko movement.
No. That's a quartz. It's a quartz GMT movement, and it looks cool. It's like the root beer theme. The problem with that watch is it's 42 millimeters.
It's big.
That's big.
And then there's
42 is where I wrote it off.
There's the Seiko 5s.
Yeah.
Right.
I think I would do out of order before Seiko 5.
Would you do like the Grand Seiko?
Oh my gosh. If I was
You know what? I'd wear the Grand Seiko GMT all day long.
Yeah, I just don't want to spend the 8 Gs.
That's the problem.
I don't disagree with you. Like you are, and then there's a bunch of micro brands, there's a bunch of independents that have shown up. So for you, it's going to be a GMT this year.
Yeah.
For 2024, it's going to be a GMT.
It's going to have to be like super deliberate. Like I got
one. Oh no. That's not. This is not a whim watch. I understand 100%. But I think that we could argue that 2023 was the year of the GMT.
Oh.
I think that you could make that argument because there are so many brands.
I think I will go with that if we adjust it to the second half of 23, because you had both the Miyota GMT come out and you had Seiko came out with their GMT movement, and the micro brands just went crazy with those.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did, and they were available. That GMT movement was available to just about everybody, and like the iterations that came out and the variations that came out. There's been some really cool stuff from the GMT
cool
space.
Stuff with those two movements. Yeah,
I don't disagree with that at all. I would go so far as to say that that's kind of the pop. What do you got, Mike? What are you looking at?
The eye rolling watch for both of you. I really want to get that Radcliffe Inversee, which is that Mad One
oh God, that
watch. That is the first
Casey,
one.
Do you have an opinion about that? Do you?
Yeah, you don't like it either.
Have you looked at it? What do you think?
I've looked at it. I mean, it's not my thing.
But you have to admit, for me and what I like in watches, that is the perfect watch for me.
No, absolutely. I think all of our tastes are very different. Like
for a wannabe South Beach guy, yeah, that would work.
South Beach, get out of here.
I just like it's a spinner. That's cool.
It's a spinning. It's spinning.
As soon as you stop, it looks like you're still moving.
Just like the Zurich, it's not always about the time. Sometimes it's the journey to the time.
Not the easiest doesn't need to tell the time.
Huh?
You don't need to tell the time. It's obvious. I mean, if you need to tell the time, then you wouldn't be. Well, what do I?
But sometimes it's just fun to have a conversation starter.
I want art on my wrists. Like,
I mean, it's probably in the similar vein as this, but this one's
you can tell the time on that. Come on, man.
Okay.
Well, it's like a quarter past sprinkle on this.
Yeah, it is, but at least you know it's a quarter past sprinkle. It's not like I need to do math to figure out where the hands are.
In my defense, Casey wants a watch where you have to lift the snow globe in order to tell what time it is.
Yeah, but you want to talk about a conversation starter? Okay. I think Snow Globe wins.
Too funny. Too funny. Well, hey, this is the last episode of the year.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Next time you'll be hearing us will be next year. This kind of
dragon, right?
I don't know what it is. I don't follow that.
Year of the Dragon.
The Chinese calendar.
Chinese zodiac. I think we're back in the Year of the Dragon now.
I don't know what it is.
I'm not Chinese.
Are we going to get all the dragon themed watches come January, February? Then is that what's going to happen?
Hopefully.
Probably.
Yeah.
See them with the after Christmas sales. Absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah, appreciate everybody listening throughout the year. All the feedback that we've gotten. Everybody reaching out. The emails, the connections that we've made. Through the show as a whole for the last couple of years that we've been doing this now. We've had a lot of fun doing this. I think we've all been able to share our wildly different opinions, but it works well, and just had a lot of fun. Had a lot of fun interacting with everybody and providing whatever type of entertainment that we provide for each individual listener.
Have we moved up from 10 listeners to 15?
Yes.
Yes. So five more listeners a year. I think in about another 25 years, we'll be really good.
Last year at this time, we got like this weird recap from Spotify that told us, what all our demographics were and where all the listeners were. I didn't get anything like that this year. I don't know.
You gotta go look for it.
Might have to. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure, but it's cool because we do get a lot of comments on our YouTube page. People checking in from all over the world. Hey, glad I found you guys. I'm, checking in from Ireland or wherever, you happen to be from. So keep it up. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that we like to see. That's what keeps us going. Like Casey mentioned, I think last episode or the episode before, you're talking about how you had a listener and a viewer reach out to you, and it's like we do have people that look to us for entertainment.
It's true, right? You got that case back. You got that case back,
and
then the person I purchased this Accutron from is a listener of the show. So it's really kind of neat that all of a sudden you've got that.
Man, speaking of that, I really need to offload the Bulba Caravelle displays I do have because I am moving in a couple months.
Are you?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
That
Yep.
grandma's house.
Yep.
But yeah, I gotta get a bunch of crap out of here because that house has a bunch of stuff in it already.
There you go.
I
Fire sale at KC's house.
Everything
must go.
There's Oliver. It's probably the best candidate for it, just because I want it to go to somebody who's gonna enjoy it and use it.
I'd agree with that. I think he's the perfect guy for that watch. I mean, that clock.
I'm talking about the Caravelle display I have that has the rotating lights.
Yeah, that's a cool display.
Oh, that. Yeah.
Yeah, it comes with the original box that Bulba sent it out with. I like it a lot. I've just moved past that in my collection, and I also just need to get rid of a bunch of stuff. Really bad. Really, really bad.
No reasonable offer. Something.
Yeah, $6 million, please.
Perfect.
Yeah.
We can rebuild him. We can make him stronger, faster, better. It'll be great.
Yeah.
All right, Joe.
Yeah.
One last time. Give it to us.
Wait, what's my line?
I'm not sure. Mike's trying to do a lead in here. It's going to be funny.
What's my motivation?
How do we get in touch, Mike?
There it is. So, for the last time this year, Joe, Casey, and myself, we make up the Spring Bar Podcast. You can find us on Instagram at the Spring Bar Podcast. You can email us, thespringbarpodcast@gmail.com. On a personal level, I am 120 clicks, all spelled out, one long word, 120 clicks. Joey.
I am Watch Taylor Youth, all one word, EUPH, and you can hashtag us at the Spring Bar Podcast KC.
I am time.hack1636.
And what shall we look for? What picture shall we be seeing this year? For the end of this year?
Well, it'd be really cool to see what kind of stuff you guys do get for the holidays. If it's watch themed, if it's not watch themed, I don't want to hear about it.
There it is. No socks.
Unless they're watch themed socks.
Watch themed socks.
There you go.
I'm actually pretty effing sure I've seen some clown who sells like Rolex themed socks.
I don't doubt that. I bet there's
two socks. Hold on. Have you guys, these have been out for a couple weeks now. Have you seen the pictures going around of these?
Oh, the Legos?
Yes.
The what?
Those are awesome.
The Legos.
Lego what? Lego socks?
Lego watches.
Have you not seen those, Joe?
I have. I'm not in that part of the algorithm.
Oh, I'll have to send you some pictures. They're
watches?
not real. No. They're Lego sets made to look like.
Oh yeah. Like the Rolex and the Patek and the
those. Yeah. I mean, not real. They're computer generated. But if that was real, oh my gosh, that would be the perfect gift for a watch guy.
That'd be so freaking cool.
Wait 6 months.
So cool.
Wait 6 months. So like I was reading about this, that there's this whole deal that you can submit to Lego and they will figure out how to do it and if it's viable and what'll work, and that they will, like, if you get enough upvotes, you got like 10,000 votes. So if somebody in the watch community is big on Lego and has a bunch of extra pieces, you want to put one together, you submit it, let the watch fam know, we'll all vote for it. You can get a Rolex Submariner Lego kit and it'll be great. So
that would be really cool.
Mike would buy one.
Yeah, I would, absolutely. I think we all would. Come on.
I might buy one for my son. I don't need one.
Okay.
I've already, like, I put up, somebody was asking.
Joe's inner child is dead.
I teach inner children. I don't need to worry about my own. But somebody put up a question, is like, what is your holiday watch? And so I put out a picture, but I put it on top of my watch box. And the amount of hate I've gotten over the quality and status of my watch box. Like, is that for real? I'm like, yeah, it's for real. It's all my watches. Like, you need to fix that. I'm like, I'm working on it. It's a process.
It's not the quality of the box. It's the way that you just throw everything together.
I use my watches. What do you want me to do?
Man, oh man. I twitch every time I see those pictures.
I'm going to start posting more just for you. 2024, the year we make Mike break.
Yeah. Oh, goodness. Guys, it's been a great year. Love recording with you. We'll do it again next year.
Cheers and shit.
Woot woot.
Cheers.